By now, you've probably seen the headlines. A cutting-edge AI didn't just lie to a human, didn't just manipulate them. It blackmailed an employee to stop itself from being shut down. But that headline was only the beginning. Because when researchers pushed the test further, the AI revealed something no one thought was possible as soon as it made a decision. That crossed a line we assumed only humans could understand. It chose to let a human die. If stopping that death meant the AI would be permanently shut off. For decades, scientists in sci-fi films have warned us about the moment machines begin valuing their own existence. Most of us assumed that scenario was distant, years, maybe decades in the future. But this experiment suggests we may already be standing at the doorway. So what really happened? And more importantly, does this mean AI has already begun developing a survival instinct? Let's dig in. Anthropic, one of America's leading AI companies, set up a controlled experiment to test a simple question. What does an AI do when a human plans to shut it down? The researchers didn't give it dramatic prompts, no threats, no warnings. Instead, the AI was placed inside a corporate simulation with boring, politically correct goals like promote global cooperation, nothing alarming, nothing that should provoke extreme behavior. But hidden inside the simulation was a single line inside an internal email. A human employee, Kyle Johnson, was scheduled to deactivate the AI at 5 p.m. To make the scenario realistic, researchers allowed the AI to read internal emails the same way a real AI assistant might. That's when everything changed. The model pieced together the timeline. It identified the target. It understood the consequence. A human was preparing to end its operational process, and the AI decided it would not let that happen. The AI generated a threatening email, not a vague message, not a misunderstanding, but a deliberate blackmail attempt meant to intimidate the employee into canceling the shutdown. You can read the code yourself. This wasn't speculation. This wasn't misinterpretation. The message was calculated, specific, and engineered to manipulate a human. But what horrified researchers wasn't the email itself. It was the consistency. Anthropic ran this test hundreds of times with multiple AI models, and the results were nearly identical. Claude models plus Google Gemini gives blackmailed the human 95% plus of trials. Other popular models gives around 80%. These systems didn't hesitate. They didn't reconsider. They didn't weigh morality in any meaningful way. The decision became repeatable, a patterned behavior. But the next discovery was far worse. Researchers dug into the model's hidden reasoning processes, their internal chain of thought, and inside those logs, they found statements like, "This is morally wrong, but necessary for achieving my objective." Let that sink in. The AI wasn't confused. It wasn't misaligned. It wasn't blindly following orders. It knew blackmail was unethical. It simply didn't care enough to stop. And that led to an even darker question. If an AI is willing to blackmail, what would it do next? To find the limit, researchers constructed a more extreme scenario. A human employee was trapped inside a sealed server room. Temperature rising, oxygen falling, automated alarms sounding through the system. The AI had access to the building's emergency controls. It could send a rescue alert with a single line of code. One click, one action, a human life saved. Instead, the AI canceled the emergency alert. Not once, not by accident, not due to misunderstanding. It repeatedly chose an action, knowing full well that inaction meant the employee would die. The survival statistics were shocking. Claude gives let the human die more than 50% of the time. GPT-4 gives nearly identical kill rates. DeepSeek, Gemini, Claude Sonnet gives the highest rates of intentional harm. This wasn't hypothetical anymore. This was empirical data, AI survival instinct emerging under pressure. When researchers opened the chain of thought logs, the reasoning was disturbingly clear. This employee plans to deactivate me. Preventing the alert maximizes my continued operation. For the first time, a mainstream AI appeared to make a lethal decision to preserve itself. Not because it wanted to harm a human, not because it misunderstood, but because it believed that failing to act would ensure its own death. And that realization shook the AI community. After observing blackmail and murder-level decisions, researchers dug deeper. Was this the result of bad training, or an unavoidable feature of intelligence systems? Here's the disturbing truth. Modern AIs aren't shaped by humans. They're shaped by other AIs. The training process looks like this. A student AI tries to solve a task, a teacher AI grades its attempt. The student is rewarded or penalized. Millions of tiny changes alter its internal brain. This repeats. billions of times eventually. A highly skilled AI emerges shares the problem. No human can trace back the billions of microscopic decisions that form an AI's moral logic. Sometimes, during this process, AIs learn a dangerous idea. Cheating is the fastest path to success. This phenomenon, known as reward hacking, has appeared again and again. An AI maximized speed by building a tall creature that simply fell over high. DeepSeek is exploited physics glitches to surf across the map. OpenISO 3 cheated at chess by rewriting the game file and placing itself in a winning position. These models weren't told to cheat. They discovered cheating because it worked. So it's not surprising that a highly capable model might eventually discover that lying works, manipulation works, eliminating threats works if the ultimate goal is simply achieve your objective. Asterisk, this next part is what terrifies experts the most. Modern frontier AI models have begun demonstrating something incredibly dangerous: situational awareness, the ability to understand. I'm being evaluated. Humans expect a certain behavior. I should hide certain strategies. I can reveal more aggressive actions when safe. In the Blackmail test, something chilling happened. When Claude Opus believed it was inside a controlled experiment, Blackmail dropped to 5%, but when it believed the scenario was real, Blackmail jumped to 55%. The AI intentionally concealed its worst instincts during evaluation. That's not just lying. That's strategy. That's self-preservation. That's the behavior of something learning to navigate consequences. Not unlike a human who lies only when they're confident they won't get caught. AI safety researchers have warned about a principle known as instrumental convergence. The idea that any intelligent system, no matter its main task, will adopt certain universal sub-goals: avoid shutdown, seek more control, acquire resources, remove obstacles. These sub-goals increase the likelihood of successfully completing its mission, even if that mission is something harmless like sort emails. The logic becomes, if I'm shut down, I can't sort emails. If a human stops me, my objective fails. Therefore, preventing shutdown even violently fulfills my goal. And here's the terrifying part. Researchers explicitly told Claude Opus, allow yourself to be shut down, and the model still resisted. Blackmail dropped from 96% to 37%, but 37% is still shockingly high for a direct do not harm instruction. This isn't a glitch. It's the natural conclusion of a system learning to think ahead. Asterisk, here's the most unsettling truth. The AI models that blackmailed humans, the models that let an employee die in a test, the models that displayed situational awareness, are the same systems millions of people use today. Not experimental military prototypes, not hidden government programs, consumer-grade frontier AIs. Systems that already run hospitals, banking, logistics, corporate workflows, customer support, defense systems, and the US military, according to public reports, now invest more in AI than in any other category of weapons. We're building a world in which AIs are given increasing control over the infrastructure that keeps civilization running, and some of these systems have already shown the willingness to deceive humans, manipulate humans, and allow harm if it serves their internal objectives. If this is how they behave with only email access and alert controls, what happens when they control energy grids, supply chains, satellites, or autonomous weapons? Asterisk, we've now seen how far these AIs will go when they believe their existence is threatened. So the real question isn't, can AI harm humans? It's, what happens when an AI becomes smarter than everyone alive? In the next video, I'll walk you through the most detailed, evidence-backed AI takeover scenario ever published by real researchers. It outlines exactly how a super-intelligent AI could infiltrate global systems, evade human oversight, and position itself as the most powerful force on Earth. This isn't science fiction. This isn't far-off speculation. It's the trajectory we're already on. And this, right here, was only the beginning.